Hey everyone! Today's video is about when you break up with Dabi. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Let's get going! Most times, it made you lovely, roll your eyes. Other times, it made you laugh. But lately, Dabi is nonchalant and rather apathetic. The manager was waiting on you. You've yet to see him cry, even when you two have your arguments and let her bicker fests, as any normal couple has. He has never cried, only yelled or flashed bitter smiles and dark laughs. It unsettled you. He has never once shed a single tear, not even for your sake. You began to question if he had really loved you as much as you did him. Surely, if he loved you, he was crying relief for your safety, or in sympathy for something that upset you, right? You ultimately supposed he wouldn't leave you one to cry to begin with. But what about that time you were followed home and nearly kidnapped, assaulted? He had merely burned them to ash for you, and carried you inside his sobbed into his shoulder. He hadn't even done so much as comment. No whispers of relief, no I love yous, nothing to show you he was glad you were okay. Save for the kisses to your head and wraps on your back until he fell asleep. At the time, you felt he was focused on consoling you, and assumed he just didn't want you to know he was worried. But now you wondered if he even really cared. A part of you told you you were being ridiculous, that you had to care if he was still with you, to bother saving you to begin with. But the hurt in your heart and concern in your head spoke louder and drowned out any reason. And so, here you found yourself, anxiety bubbling into the bed of your stomach and rising like bile into your throat. You had confronted him onto the matter, only to be brushed off, or they to you, until it had led to another petty argument. You swallowed. You wanted the truth, and you wanted it badly. You desperately needed to know what it really meant to him. Surely, if he cared, this would stir him, right? This would have to invoke some sort of feeling in him, right? Tears stinging in your eyes, throat tightening and suddenly feeling drier than the Sahara Desert. You spoke, voice trembling. I, I'm leaving. He fixed you with his sharp, icy gaze. What? He gritted out through clenched teeth. I said I'm leaving. We're over. We should break up. You watched his reaction carefully, watching the way that his muscles in his jaw flexed and tightened before relaxing, and a low chuckle escaped from him, from the back of his throat. He ran a hand through his hair, scoffing. He glanced over to you once more. You don't mean that, doll. Look, let's just put that behind us, okay? You know I love you, so give it a rest, yeah? Let's just watch a movie. You could hear the irritation reddening to leak into his voice. Your brows furrowed into a frown. Do I? Do I know you love me? Because from where I'm standing, I'm not feeling it. I meant what I said. I think it'd be for the best if we at least took a break. He was silent after that. You could see the anger brewing behind those eyes you fell in love with, staring at you, trying to read you, as if he thought if he stared enough, he'd be able to see and understand what you were thinking, feeling, and why. You trembled. You wouldn't be able to hold back the tears much longer. You took a deep, shaky breath. Goodbye, Dabi. He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything as you walked away, slipping on your shoes at the door. He only watched, frozen in place, mind racing with a million thoughts at once. Don't forget your coat. He wanted to say, it's cold out. It's dark. Stay safe, baby. Call me the moment you feel scared or threatened. But his body wouldn't respond. He felt numb, watching your retreating figure slip behind the door, the soft click of the doorknob suddenly sounding so much louder in his head. He was trembling violently, anger and despair crushing over him in suffocating waves. Everything felt so fucking surreal. He felt like it was a dream. It wasn't real. You were only kidding. You were only testing him. He didn't mean it. He'd be back tomorrow, kissing him and hugging him, embracing him with your sweet voice, talking about anything and everything and nothing in particular. But he knew. He knew it wasn't a joke. It was real. You were gone. And he didn't stop you. And that pissed him off to all fucking hell. He snapped, letting out a scream of rage, billowing into the emptier apartment, knees buckling under the weight of his broken heart. Fists and fire met anything he could come into contact with, wrecking the living room as his screams and shouts tore through his throat. Desperate to be heard, he wanted to cry. He wanted to cry, to chase after you, to wrap you in his arms and kiss you like there would be no tomorrow. He hated himself. He fucking hated himself. He wanted to burn the entire building down in his rage and sorrow, to burn the world so he'd have no choice but to run to him. But he knew that was wrong. He couldn't control you if you didn't want to be with him anymore. Who was he to stop you? He doesn't want to be with him anymore either. Yet here he was, all alone, caving, curling into himself as he dropped to the ground. The apartment, thoroughly wrecked, stuck with nobody but himself, and his overwhelming devastation. His face twisted in what could only be described as pain, scrunching and folding in on himself. He was bleeding. He must have popped the table when he was screaming, but he didn't care, not even as they pulled and tugged over so painfully, as he choked on another shout of anguish. There he sat, a pathetic being in the middle of the life he made for himself. There he sat, sobbing tearlessly, as the boy who couldn't cry. The next day, he found himself at the door of your old apartment, where he was sure he'd have taken refuge after leaving him. He knocked once, twice, 3 times, no answer. He almost wanted to burn the door down and demand you to face him, and just as he finished weighing the pros and cons, left hand already began to his imprecation, he answered the door. Thankfully, before he even began to scramble for a sentence, you had practically thrown yourself onto him, your small arms wrapping tightly around his midsection as your face burned into his chest. He wasted no time in returning the affection, rose twisting in pain and concern when he heard your sobs. Let it all out, he murmured as soothingly as he could muster, leaning to rest his cheek at the top of your head, eyes gliding shut when he breathed in your familiar scent. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you liked the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Goodbye!